one day I'll figure out how not to have glare on my glasses. There. I'll just talk like this. Hey everybody, I'm Jessie the Lookout, and today we're talking about Game of Thrones, Season 5, Episode 7, The Gift. Spoilers! Duh. This episode was pretty slow in parts, but it had a big finish, am I right? So let's get to it. We're gonna start with Jon and Sam up the wall, head south-ish to hang out with Stannis, Davos, and Melly, head a little bit further south to hang out with Sansa, off to Dorne for, I don't know, whatever they're trying to do down there. Quick stop over at Essos for a Team Dragon, and then we'll finish up in King's Landing for all the shenanigans happening there because, oh, wow. Up in the wall, we get to spend our final moments with Maester Aemon as he cries out for his baby brother, Aegon, nicknamed Egg.
Egg? I dreamed that I was old.
Oh my god. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Maester Aemon because he just holds a special place in my heart. Aemon was the middle child of 3 sons. His eldest brother was named Daeron, and his younger brother was named, of course, Aegon. At the time, there were a lot of Targaryen heirs running around, so when Aemon was 9 or 10 years old, his father decided that it would be best for him to send him to the Citadel so he could start his training as a maester. When Aemon was 19 years old, he graduated, or whatever it is that they do there, and then he was sent to serve under his older brother Daeron. He did this for a couple years until his brother died of the pox. The Citadel offered Aemon the crown, even though technically he wasn't supposed to be able to take it because maesters give up their names, titles, and inheritances, but the Citadel thought that Aemon was such a cool guy that they decided to offer him the crown anyway, but he declined it and it went to his younger brother Egg instead. Aegon ruled for many years until he passed away, and the crown was then passed to his son, King Aerys, the same king who would later become known as the Mad King, or King Scab. So, Maester Aemon is Daenerys and Rhaegar's great-great-uncle, which is why he's so bummed out that he can't be with her. Aemon was absolutely devastated when King's Landing was sacked during Robert's rebellion. It gave him a sadness that never left him. So just try to imagine his broken heart knowing that his last living relative is separated by an entire ocean, and he knows that he's never going to be able to meet her and get to know her and spend time with her and her dragons before he dies. It's just a fucking bummer, okay? For those of you who can't get enough of the world of Ice and Fire, Egg is also featured in a series of novellas called The Tales of Dunk and Egg. From my understanding, they're a little bit more family-friendly than Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones are, but it features Egg. Embarrassing. But it features Egg as well as the future Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, Sir Duncan the Tall. I guess other things happen on the wall too. Jon leaves, Sam gets laid, Sir Alliser Thorne is a dick for like no reason. But look, it's snowing! It's snowing! Hope you're ready to die. Outside Maester Aemon's sequence, like, the scenes, like, they're okay. I wasn't super impressed. First, Ghost Ex Machina. I mean, if you want Sam to be totally badass, like, how about you not reintroduce the wolf who immediately disappears after the shot? Like, whenever he's holding Gilly, like, where is Ghost? Shouldn't he be doing something else? I don't know. This is the second time we've seen Ghost this season. So remember, everybody, Ghost exists! He's around! Second, I'm glad that Sam was able to lose his virginity before winter came, but after this scene, I was reminded of something that Shay said back in season 1.
A girl who's almost raped doesn't invite another man into her bed 2 hours later.
I mean, she's not wrong, but whatever. That's it for here. Let's just get out of here and go see Stannis. Slightly more south, everything is going horribly wrong for Stannis, as per usual. This situation is pretty much exactly where we left him in the books. He's a bit closer to Winterfell, but he's still stuck in the snow, and it still takes him weeks to travel, what normally in the summer would take him days. One of his themes that I've noticed is that he tends to like to stick things out for the long haul. He's extremely stubborn, and it shows in his battle tactics. During Robert's Rebellion, he hung out at Storm's End for almost an entire year, occupying the Tyrell force and keeping them out of the majority of the battles throughout the rebellion. I mean, as a result, they also almost starved to death, and, thanks to Davos, they were able to make it through. But Stannis is a guy who is willing to put in the effort if he knows that it's going to pay off, or if he believes that in the end it's gonna pay off. So for Stannis, this kind of bullshit, it's old hat. 40 horses are dead, call me when it's 100. 500 men left, call me when it's 1,000. I want to believe that Stannis' stubbornness will help him sit the throne. Maybe not the Iron Throne, but I am hoping that he is rewarded in some way for his stubbornness and his tenacity. The pin drop for the sequence is that Millie Sparks wants to bleed Meereen for the Red God. Girl, are you kidding me right now? Davos managed to save one Baratheon kid. Maybe he can save two? Maybe? Don't be lame, Stannis. Slightly more south of that, things are awesome at Winterfell as Ramsay respects Sansa's right to rule, takes her opinion, and they just hold hands and skip and have a wonderful time in the north. Yeah, right. Instead, she's being kept in a shitty bedroom where she is beaten and raped every night. Great. Fucking awesome. Reek shows up to give Sansa some food to eat, and she takes this opportunity to try and guilt trip him into being on her side. Somewhere inside him, she believes that Theon is still hiding, and she tries to bring that part out and get him to help her out. Help her escape. Get her the fuck out of there. But instead, of course, he runs straight to Ramsay. I want to believe it's because he thought that Ramsay was tricking him or something, but I doubt it. And really, if you think about it, like, if he wasn't willing to run away when Yara and the pirates showed up to rescue him, then I don't really see why Sansa would have much luck either. I mean, technically Sansa is a closer sister than Yara ever was, but I mean, I guess I'm not really counting on it anymore. We also get this shot of Brienne hanging out, waiting for the light to show up in the tower, which, you know, isn't really that super great of a plan because it's windy, and, you know, candles don't tend to make it in shitty weather like this, but I mean, you know, she's trying. And at least somebody gives a shit about Sansa. Does Roose not wonder where Sansa went, or does he just not give a fuck what's happened to her since she's officially bound to Ramsay now? This actually marks a departure from the story that Sansa's plot is being adopted from. I won't go into too many details about it, but I'm pretty sure that Reek doesn't reveal any kind of plan like this to Ramsay. Maybe now that Sansa has officially lost the only friend that she knows of, she can finally take control of her own story, but I don't know. I'm not, at this point, I don't know if I'm really counting on it. I was hoping that Sansa would just become Darth Sansa and, like, be really badass, but maybe this is a long haul kind of thing. It's gonna take a little bit of time for her to get good at it, if she ever does. You know, I wanted to believe, but I don't know. This pretty much speaks for itself at this point. When Sansa brought up that Theon killed her family and doomed their house, I was kind of hoping that he would then take the chance to reveal to her that Rickon and Bran are potentially still alive, but after the sequence was completed, I mean, I guess I'm not that surprised that he hasn't told her yet. I mean, after all, by going to Ramsay and revealing her escape plan, he's pretty much guaranteeing that something worse is going to happen to her, which is a pretty fucking shit thing for Reek to do. So after that, Ramsay takes Sansa on an extremely expository walk to reveal that he knows her plan and that he's flayed one of her very few allies, and it's just, you know, it's kind of a bummer. And this is Sansa learning for the first time that Ramsay's a real psychopath. Like, if she didn't catch on before, then she definitely knows now, and now she's very much aware of the something worse. For the last couple of episodes, Ramsay's been trying to really play up the idea that he's a true-born northerner. Sansa takes a jab at him for being a bastard, and in the books, he hates, like really, really fucking hates being reminded that he was born a bastard. And here Sansa is shoving it in the bastard's face that he was born a bastard, and he was legitimized a bastard, and he's always gonna be a bastard. It's like he thinks if he keeps saying he's a northerner, then the other northerners will believe him and then, like, join his side or something. We'll see about that. He also lets it drop that Jon is Lord Commander now. And this might not seem like a too much of an important detail, but this way, if Sansa tries to book it, Ramsay has an idea of where she's gonna go, and Ramsay does love his hunts. Okay, down in Dorne, we only get 2 scenes in Dorne this episode. Thank fucking God. Myrcella tells Jaime to fuck right off because they abandon her here, and she's made a life for herself here, and then he shows up and just punches her boyfriend. Like, rude. It's pretty clear that even though Cersei would be willing to burn the kingdom for Myrcella doesn't necessarily feel the same way about Cersei. This girl has, like, all but moved on from her family. She doesn't want to go home because she's in love, and she likes it. Plus, admittedly, it's probably, like, 10 times safer for her to be in Dorne than it would be in King's Landing anyway, considering all the bad things that are happening to the major houses right now. I think this is them attempting to continue Jaime's redemption arc. They had mention of 2 knights trying to rescue a princess, and they brought up his hand a couple of times, and I don't know, I know I'm definitely reaching, but when Jaime lost his hand in the books, it was the beginning of his reevaluation of himself and his relationship with Cersei, and like that plot, that character development still kind of has to happen, so I feel like they're trying to re-adopt it with this. Like, I don't know, we'll see how the next couple episodes go, I guess. Him and Cersei used to be, you know, like the Golden Knight and the Beautiful Princess, but 20 years and a bunch of wars kind of put a huge damper on that relationship. So now that he's failed his rescue of another princess, we can go ahead and get that train moving again. Immediately afterwards, we get a stark comparison between Jaime's cell and then what an actual cell looks like with Bronn and the Sand Snakes. Bronn and the Sand Snakes are hanging out and... oh my god, who cares? Who fucking cares about any of this? This was a 2-episode setup for boobs. Bronn is poisoned, and instead of, you know, doing something cool with it or dying or doing literally anything, Nym comes up with a really lame excuse of flashing her tits so she can speed up his heartbeat and quicken the poison just to immediately give him the antidote afterwards. Why? 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 For boobs. That's why. Next. East and Essos, we have 2 plot lines happening. First, we have Dany and Dario assuring all the shippers that they are indeed still canon. And we also have Daenerys so desperate for counsel, she's talking to her fuckboy about it. And of course, like, he shows that he's not capable of wielding power by recommending that she just slaughter all the wise masters. Like, that's not diplomacy. That is not political. That's just... that is... a warmonger, and that's not what Daenerys wants to be. She wants to be a queen. She needs to rule, and ruling is complicated. But I mean, like, that's not exactly sexy pillow talk, you know what I mean? Elsewhere, Tyra and Jorah are being put on the block to be sold as slaves. I really enjoy Jorah's face in the sequence, because, you know, you can kind of see him coming full circle, where he was banished from Westeros for selling people into slavery, and now he himself is being sold as a slave. Makes me feel a little bit bad for him, just a little. And in a shocking turn of events, Tyrion is also bought by the same guy, for reasons I'm not very clear. Because Tyrion's funny, because the guy thinks that he'll actually be able to fight. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, honey. So let's go ahead and get to the good part. Dany and Hizdahr are on a little tour of all the crappier towns to kind of observe the pre-fighting pit battles before the great games at Draznek's pit. I have a feeling they're not going to be continuing this tradition after this episode. This guy, though. Oh my god, everybody be cool. It's the fucking queen. Did somebody say queen? I hate all this gore. It makes me uncomfortable. There's less blood when people are burned to death. Did anyone consider that as an option before we started this? Fire isn't traditional. Damn it! Oh my god, it's her. Gore makes her uncomfortable. I have to show her how fucking cool I am by kicking the shit out of everyone without spilling any blood. Which is actually a kind of a cool touch. It kind of shows that Jorah cares a little bit about Daenerys and not just in like a creepy older guy kind of way. Holy shit, it's Tyrion and Daenerys making eye contact! Oh my god! This hasn't happened in the books yet. Yet. Hopefully. Hopefully it does, because that's a big deal. We've been waiting for it. We've come close a couple of times. It just would be cool if it happened. I don't even know what they're gonna do together. Rule the world? Burn everyone? Be amazing? Is Tyrion gonna be able to ride a dragon? Because, like, in the books they make a point of making it clear that Tyrion... Make a point of making it clear? Nice. Because in the books, in Tyrion's chapters, they make a point of making you aware that Tyrion is fascinated with dragons. Which, I mean, like, admittedly, fair. If dragons were real in this world, I would probably also be into dragons. But that's it! That's all we get! Damn it! Damn it! Alright, last sequence for the episode, King's Landing. Lady Olenna is making the rounds to a number of her least favorite people. Starting with the High Sparrow, she tries to tempt him into releasing her grandchildren with gold, and when that doesn't work, she then threatens to starve everyone in King's Landing. But that also doesn't work because the High Sparrow already has everyone on his side anyway. I mean, like, if you haven't caught on, since she's said it like a million times, but House Tyrell provides a lot of food to King's Landing. King's Landing doesn't really have a ton of land to farm things, and a lot of it was kind of wrecked during the sieges and the wars, but Highgarden and the Reach remained pretty untouched by the War of the Five Kings, so they have got a ton of food to spare. But not once winter comes! The High Sparrow kind of hints at his endgame here. He wants to take down the major houses, and by the end of the episode, he's already jeopardized 2 of them. After this, she heads over to Peter Baelish's flesh market. I love that term. I'm keeping it. Anyway, here we get a lengthy conversation where Peter Baelish reveals a couple of things. One of them being that he had a gift for Cersei and he now has a gift for Olenna, and that gift to Cersei was Oliver, and Oliver was the cinchpin to send Loras and Marjorie to prison. And now for Lady Olenna, he is going to gift her Lancel Lannister, hinting that Peter Baelish is the one who kind of pushed Lancel into joining the faith. If you remember back in either the previous episode or the episode before, Peter and Lancel have a conversation in the street, and initially I thought it was just the show's way of letting us know that Peter Baelish knows who the new powerhouse is in King's Landing, but in reality I think it's actually much simpler than that. It's simply Lancel letting Peter know that he's a big deal now, and like it has less to do with the organization and more with Lancel personally. And all of this is pretty cool on one hand, but on the other hand, like, with the Oliver thing, like, how many gay dudes do we even have in this show? Like, who else was gonna kind of helped imprison Loras? This is the show continuing the idea that Peter Baelish is an extremely intelligent player, but I mean, like, they didn't have a lot of options to begin with, you know, but I mean, easy target, so might as well take it. Over on Team Cersei, we see her and Tommen having dinner together, and, you know, she's trying to soothe his broken heart, but then he puts on his best Joffrey impression.
I'll call in the army. I'll take back the sept and kill every last one of them.
I think it's around this point that Cersei's beginning to realize that Tommen isn't a little boy anymore. Like, he's only like 9 years old in the book, but I think they're trying to play him up like he's 15 or 16 in the show now, and like he's trying really hard to sound angry, but he just kind of sounds like he's having a tantrum to me. But I mean, like, if you just take out the fact that his voice hasn't cracked yet, like, he's saying a lot of intense words, and, you know, that is essentially letting us and Cersei know that, like, Tommen, you know, craziness might run in their family a little. But also, he's in love. Blech. Gross. I realized when I was rewatching this that immediately after Cersei talks to Tommen about how she's willing to like burn cities to the ground for her children, that we then cut to Myrcella essentially telling everyone that like she doesn't give a shit about her family anymore because they left her there, so like fuck them too. And you know, not even Cersei's children have her back. Shortly after, Cersei goes to the Sept on the premise of talking to the High Sparrow on Tommen's behalf, but she decides to stop and pay a visit to Marjorie and then give her the leftover soup she had the night before. Like, rude. But Marjorie accepts it quite graciously.
Get out, you hateful bitch!
Lena Headey this entire episode is just fucking brilliant. The casual toss of the cloth as her final fuck is thrown away. It's a great juxtaposition for what comes next. Cersei approaches the High Sparrow with no Kingsguard and on his turf. His little speech about being humble is perfect for her because she is anything but humble. She is the lion, and who is he that she should bow so low? Then the bombshell for this episode. Lancel Lannister hinted at the beginning of the season, and they have been dropping hints this entire season. Cersei Lannister conspired with Lancel to kill the king, and they committed incest together. The Chekhov's gun of incest. Lancel's gun. Chekhov's Lancel. Cheksol's gun. Landkov's gun. She's fucked. Even until the end, Cersei is trying to play it cool. Everyone sees through her. Kevin, Olenna, Lancel, the High Sparrow, Peter Baelish, everyone. Everyone sees through what what Cersei is doing, but she still tries to play it cool and, you know, compose herself, even though, like, we can all see her and we know what she's thinking. This bitch is freaking the fuck out. He's done it. The High Sparrow's taking control of King's Landing. He manipulated Cersei into arming him, he took down a major house, and now he's taken hers down too. Amazing. Amazing. The most powerful man in Westeros needs no army, just the love of the people. Well, I mean, technically, like, in addition to the poor fellows, there's also this section of the Faith Militant called the Sons of the Warrior, and they're the knights of either the Crown or any of the houses who abandon their liege lords and then they go sign up to fight for the faith. So in addition to like the poor fellows who are guys with clubs, the Faith Militant also is comprised of a second group known as the Sons of the Warrior. And so I mean like, so yeah, this guy totally has an army now thanks to Cersei. And that's the whole episode. Yes, 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 things are happening. This has been an incredibly slow season, but things are starting to pick up, and I have a feeling they're only going to get more intense as the last couple of episodes happen. Cersei, Marjorie, and Loras are all under arrest. Sansa's gotta do whatever she's doing, I guess. And then finally, real changes are happening to Daenerys' arc. For the first time in Game of Thrones and Song of Ice and Fire history, the East and West plot lines have met. Shit is getting so real! I got a lot of air punches in me today. I'm just very excited. You know, like, things are happening, and I just need things. I just need them. I'm going crazy. But I mean, like, I hope things continue to happen. I'm sensing some plot filler in Dany and Tyrion's arc, or even less of them in the coming episodes. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have anything on them next episode. But, you know, a girl can hope. I was kind of irritated that this episode was called The Gift, and they showed me Bravos in the opening theme, but then they didn't have any Arya at all. Stop teasing me and just give me Meereen fucking Trant, okay? I want to mention the types of gifts that were given in this episode. Obviously, Tyrion was a gift to Daenerys, but there were a couple of other gifts in there too. There was that awful scene between Bronn and Nym, where I guess she gifted him with the antidote and her boobs. Jaime tried to gift Myrcella with a rescue and with freedom, but failed miserably. There was Ramsay's gift to Sansa, which was less appealing. Oh, appealing! Oh, I didn't even do that on purpose. Oh, that's bad. Cersei gave Marjorie leftover soup, that was pretty bitchy. Gilly gifted Sam with her vagina. Oh, ew, sorry. And Peter gifted both Cersei and Olenna with the downfall to their respective houses. No gift for Stannis, though. Poor guy. Well, though, technically, I guess Shireen is gonna be a gift to the Red God. I hope not. Also, this is the 7th episode with Sansa in it. The Sansa train isn't stopping anytime soon. Hopefully. I actually have no idea what they're going to do in Dorne now. Thanks to Jaime's inevitable fuck-up, the tensions between the Lannisters and the Martells are like even tenser than they were before. Though technically the Martell bastards tried to capture and kill the Baratheon princess, so I mean like maybe that evens out somehow. Maybe. And then this plotline will have been for nothing. Excellent. But let's not get too pessimistic about Dorne. I mean, I've been crapping on them in all my videos, and Dorne has pretty much just become a circle jerk by this point, so whatever. It is what it is. It's happening. They're trying. I mean, anyway, let's just leave it as it is. What do you guys think is going to happen to Cersei? The circumstances of her arrest are a little bit different than they were in the books. She is on trial for kingslaying and incest, but the reason she is arrested like she is in the books is because she continued to have sex with other people after Robert Baratheon had died, and like the faith tends to frown on, you know, sex out of wedlock or something, or sex outside of marriage. Out of wedlock? Yeah, that's a word. So I mean, like, I'm actually glad they took it in a less slut-shamey direction. And I can't believe I'm saying that about Game of Thrones. I will really take what I can get at this point. What would you guys say is your favorite plotline this season? Let me know in the comments down below. I think my favorite has probably been Cersei, actually. Like, watching her try and set up all these little dominoes and then, like, everybody around her just, you know, knocking them down and rearranging them without even letting her know. Plus, Lena Headey is fucking A+. I do enjoy that Arya is finally in Bravos. I'm looking forward to more. I mean, like, we've only seen her a couple of times, and, like, she hasn't progressed a lot this season, so she would normally be my favorite, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, let me know in the comments. That's all I have to say about this week's episode. If you enjoyed this video, do me a solid, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. You can check out my channel to see what else I do. I also do comic reviews, outfit videos, beauty unboxings, art streams, vlogs, pretty much whatever I want. If you want to join me on social media, I also have Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. It's starting to get hot up here, and I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan. I had to wear a second shirt because this is a belly top. Oh, you can't even see it. Oh, I didn't even need to wear a second shirt, but like, it's humid and my hair is just, it's super fucking gross, let me tell you what. My boyfriend's getting a little worried about me because I'm so pale because I don't go outside. But like 20 minutes in this and I'll be brown as a piece of toast. That was bad. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next week. Valor Morgulis.